Hey, and welcome back to Girlchatsports. I'm Melissa, and I'm here with Stephanie as always. Hello, Steph. This is episode 51. We have now hit that hump over 50. We are officially old age.
Over the hill.
You guys, we have a great guest later on in the show, Blythe Brumleve. Brumleve. I keep saying Levy. I keep pronouncing her name. I'm sorry, Blythe. We love you. We've got an awesome interview with her later on, so please listen for that. Welcome back to Girl Chat. And what can I say? Game of Thrones is back on. Ballers is back on. My Sundays are almost complete. I'm just waiting for Survivor's Remorse to start, which is back on August 20th. Yay!
And sports is happening in Las Vegas.
There is Vegas sports all around. What's going on, Steph?
Man, so the United Soccer League is coming to Vegas.
So when I heard that, I was like, United Soccer League, is that like this? Is that like the Sounders? Because of course, Seattle Sounders, they won the MLS championship last year. But I was like, SL, huh? Like, I didn't know there was this many soccer leagues ever, not to mention understanding. And when I first looked it up, I only saw like a few teams. I'm like, well, this is lame. There's only like 8 teams. No, Melissa, there's 31 teams.
It's a semi-pro team.
We're about to be 32. One. So what I didn't quite get was there's like the Sounders FC2, and there's like a LA Galaxy FC2. Like, it's like maybe their farm team, I guess. I don't know.
We need to bring my friend who is a soccer fiend on to teach us.
Yes, we want to know more still. We did hockey, now we need a soccer show.
Yeah, so anyway, they're going to be playing at Cashman Field in the center and heart of downtown Las Vegas.
In the homeless corridor. But you didn't hear that from me.
They are going to be paying an upfront fee of $50,000 just to be able to play games there. $6,000 per game to rent out the stadium
Is
for that
Cashman
night.
Field even worth that much? No,
well,
literally.
Cashman Field can make some good updates with all that money.
I wonder if they'll still have dollar beer night. Like the 51. Currently, Cashman Field is the home of the 51s, our quote-unquote baseball team, and they have dollar beer nights. So maybe they can pass that tradition on to our future soccer team.
It's the farm team of the Mets, so people get picked from there to go to the big leagues. But yeah, it is a really small, rundown stadium. So I think that this will help make it a little better. And they're actually going to be scheduling the games around the 51s games, and you know how many baseball games there are. So
I've never seen like a baseball / soccer field. I've seen the baseball football field thing happen, but I've never seen like a baseball soccer field transition happen.
You would not believe what the Cashman Field looks like as a soccer field. I've been there. It is amazing. You wouldn't even feel like you're in the same place. It's so crazy.
We'll have to check it out. So that means we've got soccer coming. When is that supposed to start?
In 2018, and typically that turns into getting a pro team. Like the majority of the time.
Like when we have a new stadium for the Raiders.
Then we can have a pro soccer
right
team.
On. So we've got soccer next year. We've got hockey coming up this year with the Golden Knights. Did I say that right? Yeah, Las Vegas Golden Knights. And then we've got the Raiders in 2020. Speaking of which,
the Raiders finally signed their second-round pick, Obi Melanfalu, today.
That's a mouthful.
He's under contract. One of the reasons that they didn't get it is there was a disagreement over the contract language, and also apparently he switched his agent right after the draft.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Yeah, so they had to work with his new representative, so he finally got signed.
Well, good for him. Good for him. He did seem to have a good combine.
Also,
right?
the Raiders' first-round pick, cornerback Garyon Conley, has pending rape accusations against him.
Here's the deal. Is it that the guys are just really that like neglectful or that insensitive or just that don't give an F-U-C-K prior to this whole process of getting into the league? Or is it that once they make it, all these girls are just claiming...
coming out of the woodwork. Right.
You know, I mean, like, here's the deal. I don't know. How can you raise a girl to be... I just feel like terrible parenting if that female has to be like this and just lie about it or come out with it, or because there's so many accusations these days. It's like everybody wants their meal ticket without doing no work.
True story.
Ugh, facts. Hashtag, tag. Also about the Raiders, listen, you know me, I don't love the Raiders. I don't hate them either. They've got my guy Marshawn this year. I've always loved Khalil Mack. They've taken a few of my Seahawks like Bruce Irvin, which I still love. But Khalil Mack, he did a shout out to The Rock, which you guys know, Dwayne Johnson, who is the star of Ballers on HBO, and is like, yo, man, get me on the show. Because, Ballers started their season this last Sunday, and they had Steph and Aisha Curry on it, which was pretty cool. So that was interesting. And so obviously Khalil Mack wants to get on the show, Dwayne Rock Johnson.
They're going to be filming in Vegas this season too, right?
Well, because, yeah, it's crazy because the show's talking about, they want to get people to get in on the new team coming to Vegas, which is interesting. So it'll be interesting. I can't wait to see it. Other people in Vegas, like right now, LeBron James.
Bringing Drais to our city.
I mean, you've got LeBron James, who apparently has been vacationing, a.k.a. working out, a.k.a. hanging at Drais after hours. I don't know. I'm just saying. Is here in Las Vegas, has been here for the week. He actually, I guess, reached out to Derrick Rose, asked him if he wanted to come work out with him out here in Vegas. And who denies LeBron James and who denies Vegas? So we've got Derrick Rose and LeBron out here. Also, they've got, what's his name? Oh, yeah, Eric Bledsoe from the Suns, who I think Coach LeBron, GM LeBron wants to have on the Cavs as well. So that's interesting.
We need to find out where this workout is.
I'm saying, LeBron, where are you? Someone's going to post a picture, and we're going to find out.
And we will be there.
And I will bring my spray hair for you, because I know it's hot and humid, and whatever you got laying on that head of yours is probably not sticking. Just shave it all off already, okay?
You can wear your Derrick Rose jersey.
My Chicago Bulls Derrick Rose jersey that's broken in half. No, sorry, Derrick. We still love you, kind of. Anyway, so that should lead us to our next big topic. Kyrie Irving wants out. If you haven't heard by now, then you're living under a rock with a tortoise here in Las Vegas, because I don't know if there really was friction with LeBron and Kyrie, but once that GM left, boom, Kyrie said peace.
He wants to be the big man.
And, hey, I'm with it. Go for it. And hopefully he finds a good home. Let him have a good home.
I just don't think anybody's going to carry him to the finals like LeBron did.
Listen, Kyrie really helped carry LeBron on a couple of those games. Not saying the entire series, not saying for the last 2 or 3 years. I'm just saying for... there was a game or two where had it not been for Kyrie, they were in a shaky position. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't, I don't know. Hey, it's either here or there. Other NBA news, John Wall is going to extend his contract with the Wizards. He's got $170 million coming his way. As a basketball player, are you not just laughing at your football counterparts, making a percentage of what you do? They're both professional athletes. John Wall gets $170 million for 4 years, and what was his name? Oh yeah, Brandon Linder from the Jags gets $50 million in 5 years.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
What's the latest with Carmelo Anthony? He's going to the Rockets or what?
Man, all I know is that Portland is trying to get him. Damian Lillard wants him out there. CJ McCollum wants him out there. They are ready to have him. However, it sounds like the Rockets want him too. I know the Rockets already got a stacked up team right now. I think they're really trying to contend for that Golden State Warriors Western Conference rivalry with them. So that should be interesting. I know there was a Golden State Warriors thing that you had an issue with.
That you have to dedicate 30 years to get a season ticket in their new stadium. They are dropping the amount of season ticket holder tickets. However, in order to get one, you have to commit to 30 years.
Is that because, isn't the new stadium being built across the water in Frisco? It's actually going to be in San Francisco now, so maybe the higher cost of property maybe is causing this? I don't know.
Half the tickets will come at a per seat cost of $15,000 or less. Jeez. The other half will cost more than that.
So that means the nosebleeds are still in the thousands for season tickets. Man, you better be a diet. Well, hey, now's the time to do it while they're still hot, because after 5 or 10 years and they're not, well, we know what happens there.
It's literally an interest-free loan to pay them back in 30 years.
Yeah, that's insane. So while we're on basketball, before we move on, is there any Steph Slager love that you'd like to announce?
So Lonzo Ball was Summer League MVP. He averaged 16.3 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 9.3
And let's
assists.
just say most of those points, rebounds, and assists came after he got out of the big baller brown shoes. Am I correct?
This is a true story.
That's all. Okay.
It's the first time that the Lakers have ever won the Summer League since they went to this tournament style. Of course, they've only been doing it since 2013, but still.
But hey.
Kyle Kuzma was the MVP for the game, and our boy, Kyle Kuzma, just turned 22, and guess what he spent his NBA money on?
Hope it wasn't prostitutes.
A Porsche Panamera.
Same thing. No. Wow, Pan America. Hey,
In fact,
ballin'.
Lonzo also spent a little
Lord.
money on a Rolls Royce.
What does a boy his age need a Rolls Royce for?
Baller.
That's like Money Mayweather type stuff right there. Why do you need a Rolls Royce, Lonzo? Is that to ride your old man around in?
No, his old man probably has one too.
Jeez Louise. Speaking of his old man, before we go to our next topic.
This guy's off his rocker.
Somebody needs to get him some medication, or they're going to see him on the side of the street acting up and being on worldstar.com one day. So LeVar Ball is now taking LaMelo, the youngest one, the AAU team, the big ballers, of course. They were out playing a game in California. Basically comes down to it. LeVar gets technical because he thinks that the other team's cheating and there's some bad calls. He basically is like, hey guys, let's go. And
taking my ball and going home.
Takes the kids off the court, and that's it. They lose by forfeit.
And they were winning.
What kind of sportsmanship is that?
It's a terrible example.
I know this. Even when my dad was around and he used to coach my brother, they got kicked out of leagues because my dad was very vocal and boisterous. And we had to move on to a different league. They went from like Bitter Lake to Snow King, whatever. If anyone's in Seattle, they know the reference. But never would you ever be like out walking off the court forfeiting a game ever in life.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the kids.
He was probably like, what? And there's so many, all the attention was there. All the paparazzi was there. The little, high school court was packed along the sides with everybody because, of course, it's LeVar Ball in the house. And look what he pulls. But sad. We're still talking about him, unfortunately, so I guess it's making a point. Anyways, we are going to cut to a break real quick, and we're going to come back with Blythe and talk a little bit about GuysGirl and some other wonderful things happening in her life and down in Jacksonville, Florida. See you in a bit.
Yo, what's good with it? It's Mr. Mike T, owner and founder of Naked Athletics Fitness Co. You say naked, I say why not? We going for muscle tone, muscle gains, diet plans, nutrition plans, any and everything to get you where you want to go physically and mentally. You can look us up at nakedathleticfitness.com, or you can reach me personally at 929-8791, or you can follow me, and that's on IG at Naked Athletics with an X, not a C, _ fitness team, or even Facebook at MZSTAMYK, and that's Mr. Mike. So contact me today so we can get you going. And remember, nobody stops you but you. And once again, that's 702-929-8791 or nakedathleticfitness.com. Contact me today. Let's get you going. Nobody stops you but you.
Hey, and welcome back to Girl Chat Sports. We are joined with Blythe Brumleve, and I've been trying to say your name so many times that I think it's now going to be emplastered in my head. But Blythe, welcome to the show. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yay. So Blythe is founder of GuysGirl, which if you haven't checked it out, please go online now, follow them on all social media. But kind of tell us about your history of sports, how maybe GuysGirl came about, and what other things that you are associated with and you're doing as far as in the sports world.
Sure. So I guess I should really sort of bring it all the way back with when I was first my sports fandom first started, and that's when I was about 2 or 3 years old, and I was watching, apparently, I don't remember this, but apparently I was watching the Louisville Cardinals basketball game with my dad, and he kept saying shit, and I repeated that word at my grandmother's house, and my dad ended up getting into a lot of trouble, and so, but that was one of my first words I ever learned was the word shit. Because I was watching basketball games with my dad.
I love it.
I've been a sports fan my entire life. And it wasn't until I grew up, born and raised in Jacksonville, and I did a little bit of moving around in my early 20s. And then when I came back to Jacksonville, I knew I wanted to start my own business, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And then I decided, well, I have the biggest trouble in finding sports apparel for women. And I used to have to take these big T-shirts and cut them up and sort of do all this crafty stuff with different clothing in order to be able to wear something to the game that I actually liked. And I thought, well, I bet more women are having this trouble. So I figured, well, I'll just start a retail line. It's just as simple as that, right?
Right.
No, wrong. I had no clue what I was doing, and quickly realized that this wasn't something that I was going to be able to compete with financially with other big retailers. So I said, well, naturally, I'll just start a blog, and then I'll teach women about sports, and then that's how sort of GuysGirl came to be, was that I really wanted to teach other women about sports, because this was in sort of the early days of the internet, and I didn't know that there were other women out there who loved sports, who loved Star Wars, and also loved the great red lipstick. I loved, the girly side that I fully embraced, and then the ultra, I guess, the masculine side that loves things typically thought of as for the boys. And so that's really where GuysGirl was formed, and since then it's led to gigs at a local magazine, a local radio station, and then local TV here in Jacksonville. So it's really sort of been a blessing ever since I moved back to Jacksonville.
That is so wonderful. So what, I guess, as far as we all want to make sure that we connect with other women that are into sports and help them, or even ones that are starting to learn, but what have you found as being like the most challenging part of, trying to focus on, accessing women or other girls or ladies or young people in regards to, teaching sports or helping them learn? Or has there been barriers that you found that's been difficult?
Well, initially with my content, I took that sort of 101 approach. But then as the years sort of went on, and you make more connections through social media. Twitter had just launched. I think this was like 2008, 2009 time, and Twitter had just launched, and that's really where I started connecting with other like-minded women. And that's when my really started changing. And after it started changing, that's when I started focusing more on evergreen style content. And that's where I focus more on, not necessarily one-on-ones, because I think sometimes a lot of that is overplayed nowadays. I just write about now the female fan experience and what a female fan typically goes through at a game or just having an opinion on the game itself.
Right.
One of my favorite things about your website is like the entertainment side, where how to keep your hair stunning at the games.
It's such a challenge in this humidity, trust me.
Well, let me tell you about some Seattle rain and not being undercover. Yeah, that's a very good point, yes.
Also, you have to share with us about being in the stadium pool at the Jags stadium with Shad Khan, the commercial that you were in. How cool is that?
It was unbelievable, because it happened about a year ago that I think the NFL, they wanted to start doing this coming home tribute. And so what they did is they set up video shoots for each fan base all around the country. And we were lucky enough to be part of some of those fans that were chosen to be with Shad Khan in the pools. And it was probably the best day of my life. Because after the shoot was over, I mean, we were only in the commercial for a total of like 3 seconds. But after the commercial was done, or after the shoot was done, Shad Khan is, he's this self-made billionaire. And he has a great personality, and he entertains the entire group of fans. There's probably about 15 or 20 of us there. And he brought out champagne for us. He brought out beer for us. He brought out food, and just sat around and just hung out with all of us and had a conversation with every single fan that was there. He's been the most genuine. I think he's the most genuine owner in all of sports.
Well, and he also is one of the only ones that has a pool, which I love because I'm a water baby. And I think, it's funny because me and a group of girls are heading out to Jacksonville for the Seahawks game this winter. And it was December. And I was like, well, isn't it still warm in Florida, though? And they're like, well, it's going to be like 60. And I was like, let's get a cabana. But when we looked into it, not only do you need to have like 60 people to get a cabana, but they were all sold out already. Like the entire, like all the cabanas were sold out for the Seahawks game. I was like, really?
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, what? So I guess like someone came, and I don't know if there's some big Seattle exec that maybe, I don't know, it sounded almost as if there was like some big person that kind of bought out the whole spot.
That probably has happened, especially because that month. Because I'll be honest with you, the pools are a little bit smaller, so they get hot very quickly, and it's almost like you're in a jacuzzi. So those games during like August, September, even October, like to me, in my personal case, the pools are almost too hot.
You're speaking to ladies in Vegas. I mean, the pool's here. It's like 115 degrees. We get kind of used to it. But yeah, no. I think my biggest dream still is to be on a floaty in a stadium in a pool. Like that would be like all of my wonderful life goals in one. Like floating in water, in a pool or an ocean, but I don't think oceans will happen for stadiums anytime soon. So anyway, so speaking of the Jaguars, I know that you do some pregame stuff for them, as well as you kind of cover them on, it sounds like the radio spot you guys have. Tell us about the radio spot, where they can find you, and maybe how you kind of got started with the Jaguars.
Sure. So I've been writing about the Jaguars for a few years now. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago that I was editor-in-chief of a local magazine here, and we had an annual issue called the Jaguars issue. So I started working with the Jaguars on a closer basis back then for the issue. And after a couple years with working with that magazine, I decided to go. Well, I didn't. It was a colleague at the magazine that actually referred me to the radio gig. And with the radio gig, it's called Helmets and Heels, and the show airs every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. here locally in Jacksonville. We also live stream it on Facebook too. But they were starting up. The general manager was starting up an all-female sports show, and when colleague got word of it, he recommended me to it. And I've never done radio broadcasting before. Outside of, a few guest spots, interviews here and there, I had never hosted a radio show. I had zero clue what I was doing.
Right.
So they brought me in with the idea that I would just be, a fill-in on a couple segments a week. And when I got there, they had me just stay for the entire show. So from about the first 6 months of doing the show, I was there every single week for the entire show and was an official co-host. And I worked the show for free. I knew that there were plenty of other experienced women that probably were dying to get into a gig like just getting paid to talk about sports. So I considered it an investment. So I did it for free for 6 months. They liked what I was doing. After the season was over, they decided to keep the show going, and they decided to start paying me, which was great.
Dream come true, right? Like, yeah, pay me to talk about sports. I don't got to be at a bar to do it anymore. I can actually be in a radio station setting. Hello.
So that was such a dream come true to be able to go somewhere and talk about sports, and then it was weird feeling to like get a paycheck for it. I felt like I was almost robbing them for it. But then after doing that show for a couple seasons, they approached me about helping out with a pre-game show, and that is a show that airs 5 hours before kickoff every Jaguars game day, and we go over, it's called the Kickoff Show, and we go over, tailgating, fantasy football, what happened in college football the night before, what's going on around the NFL, and then, of course, a heavy dose of Jaguars.
Oh, wow. That sounds like an amazing show, too. So that's usually 5 hours before every kickoff then, during the season?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
It just got renewed for this season. I actually found it out yesterday that it got renewed again for this season. So we're
Oh, exciting. Really exciting. So is that something that you guys tape in studio, or are you guys out actually on scene, like out in the, I don't know, whether it be tailgating or around the stadium or?
If it's an away game, we're in studio. But if it's a home game, we actually set up right beside Everbank Field. So we're right in right in tailgaters parking, which is right beside the stadium. So we set up right there. I sort of refuse for a long time to ever work on game days because I go with my brother and I go with my dad, and I see it as more of like this is a family experience, and I want to do this as long as I can with them.
Right.
So this is the perfect situation where I don't have to worry about, because working on like a sideline gig or something like that's not really my thing.
Right. You don't get to see the game. That's like the most important part.
Right. And I'm not really like a press box kind of girl. I've been a season ticket holder for 10 years. I like my game day routine. But this show was a perfect setup because as soon as I get done with the show, I grab my bags and I walk to the tailgate spot, and my family and my friends are already set up and they're just getting going. So it's a perfect setup for me.
Yeah, I think I'd like your life. I think that'd be fine. Like, that's my thing, is that I wouldn't want to like miss Seahawks game. Like, it's already hard enough when you already have things in your regular life that you have to do. Like, my friend had a post that I got to put on Facebook shortly, is like, FYI, here comes the season. Here's the things that I can't do. Anything on Sunday? No. It has to, if you're getting married, make sure it's around a time where I can attend, or else I won't be attending because of the game. If you're not a, my team fan, then you're going to be blah, blah, blah. You're going to get cussed at. I mean, those are the kind of things that, as a diehard fan or as a lifelong fan or anyone else, you definitely, it's hard to miss those games. It's hard not to see that. For me, if I go on vacation, if they don't have TV, like I went to the Mexico last year during one of the playoff games. It was Seahawks and the, not playoff, it was the regular season. It was Seahawks and the Steelers. I couldn't even watch the game. I was pissed. I'm trying to yell at people in Spanish, like, ¿Dónde está tu deportes? Football, americano. Like, no, they were playing soccer and shit. Like, I just, but I totally understand.
Oh gosh, I feel you, because my best friend is getting married in November, the day before a Jaguars home game. And I'm in the wedding, maid of honor. And so I've already told her, I said, you can't even drink at your wedding now because I'm going to have to be at work at 8 a.m. the next day.
It's a struggle, man. It's a struggle.
Priorities.
Sports life is tough, man. Anyway, so what else do you have going on as far as Guys Girls goes? Anything on the future horizon that maybe you want to that you're looking into or already have in the works, or anything that you want to kind of give us some information on as to what maybe we should look out for in the future?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I haven't launched it yet, but the brand Guys Girl has taken a little bit of a shift over the past few months. Essentially, what's happened is that I've shifted from a news-based content website to more evergreen videos and podcasts. Mm-hmm. But then I'm also helping out other women that work in sports and other people that work in media and in blogging, and helping to expand their profile. There are a lot of podcasts out there, a lot of video blogs out there, but they don't have a home base. They don't have a website. And since I've spent the better part of the last decade building websites for both myself and for other people, I decided that this is going to be my new niche of what I'm going to be focusing on. So I've been releasing a few videos here and there, the mistakes that sports bloggers are making, stealing photography from, or stealing photos from photography for blog posts, little things that new bloggers might not know about yet. But I've already learned those hard lessons and things like that. So I'm looking to expand on my experience in the world of blogging and how it brought me to a broadcaster role, and helping other people elevate their profile as well. So that's going to be launching before football season starts, and that's sort of my home base now, because I started Guys Girl in 2009 with hopes that it could be a full-time job. And about 4 months ago, it finally became, 8 years later, it finally became my full-time job.
Well, I know we're going to be hitting you up because we kind of went backwards. We started with this whole, podcast, and now we need to kind of build from there on the other side. So definitely.
Well, I can help you with the website. I'm just saying.
I know, and we definitely will be touching base because I know we need it. There was That's some information for off the air. Anyways, one last thing. So, what can you tell us about Brandon Linder? This guy, the highest paid center in the NFL.
He is probably one of the most underrated centers, I think, in the NFL. There was a list that was brought out. I think it was NFL.com or USA Today released, their top 500 players in the league, and Brandon Linder was not on that list whatsoever. But he's been known about Jacksonville for years. I think his first year he had a bit of an injury bug, so he's not really known mainstream-wise, but he has a great relationship with the quarterback, and quarterback-center relationship has to be very
solid.
Good.
You can't just have anybody with their hands in your junk, you know what I mean? You can't just, allow that all the time. So.
And he's really good with his hands, too, because he's a hunter in his off time. He's an avid fisherman. So he's always out. He's always outdoors. He's always bonding with his quarterback and with his other offensive linemen. He's just overall, he's just a down-to-earth, a great dude, and this really couldn't happen to a better guy. And so I think maybe the Jaguars saw that list come out and decided to reward Brandon Linder before the secret was or the cat was out of the bag.
And that's good because speaking from experience, because the Seahawks have no offensive line, period, it's great that when you have someone, you keep them. It's pretty tough when you don't have a good offensive line.
Oh, God. Well, at least you have a quarterback, and at least you guys didn't take a punter over Russell Wilson.
Oh, that was a good one. Okay. Okay, well, Blythe, we really appreciate you coming on. Please let our listeners know where they can find you on social media and also the website, too, if you can.
Absolutely. You can find any of my work on any of my personal accounts at Blythe Brum, BLYTHE, BRUM, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter as well, and then also on the GuysGirl account where it's at GuysGirl on Instagram, on Twitter, or Facebook, all that good stuff. And then GuysGirl.com, the website. That's where everything is linked to make it super easy.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Awesome. Before we head out, let's just give you a little bit of our oohs and ahs. First major ah moment, you guys. I was watching ESPN, one of the special stories, the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Raymond, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, Melgarejo? He's 9 from Santa Ana, California. He had a tumor in his head removed and had been receiving chemotherapy for like the last year. He basically is fighting on. He still helps and is involved with his Pop Warner team even though he can't play anymore. His wish for the Make-A-Wish Foundation
was to come meet Dak and my Cowboys.
Oh my God. Here's the deal. You know me and my hatred for the Cowboys. I actually may like Jerry Jones for one time. I may give Jerry Jones one credit because he flew little 9-year-old Ray Ray in his personal helicopter.
He introduced him to the whole team.
Dak is his favorite, so he had number 4 with his last name on the back of the jersey.
They signed him with a day contract.
Oh.
He got to pass to Zeke.
He met Jason Witten. He met, all the Cowboys. So even though I was puking on the inside regarding the Cowboys, there was a tear. There was a tear. It was like a puke tear, I guess.
In other own news, sad to hear that 99% of the people, the brains that were examined by a neuropathologist determined that they actually had traces of CTE. It's a degenerative disease believed to be caused by repeated blows to the head. Out of 202 deceased football players, 11 of them played in the NFL, and 110 of those were found to have the CTE.
Well, and I think what I read about it is they all had signs that they probably could have had CTE, but you can't test for it until you've passed. So the ones that people that thought they might have it basically gave their brains to science, and it's still alarming that it's 99% of them. So, but however, they didn't. It's not like they're testing a huge wide range of people that maybe are showing signs or not showing signs to see if that takes it into account. But yeah, still a very not so good story. The other, I guess, story Julio Jones from Atlanta, he had a dive team on Tuesday go looking for his $150,000 earring that he lost. He never told us how much it was. His jeweler, of course, probably wanting some kind of publicity stunt, divulged that information. So the diving team went into Georgia's Lake Lanier on Tuesday. Couldn't find it. So if anyone's out there near Lake Lanier in Georgia, go looking for it. I would like 10% of that cut right now. I'm sure it's large, sparkling, you could probably see it in the water okay.
The juice is totally loose.
Right. Anyways, you guys, we have a couple upcoming guests that we're going to have on, but they are both putting on some football camps. If you are in the Las Vegas area and you are hearing this Saturday, July 29th, there will be a youth football camp brought to you by the guys over at Future Pro 5 Tour. Check them out on Instagram and social media at Future Pro, the number 5 Tour, TOUR. Again, their camp is going to be this Saturday. It's on, if you register online at futurepro5startour.com, you'll get it for $20 for the whole day. If you do it on site, it's $30. Also, the following Saturday, August 5th, I will be over with with Kaylee Boy over with 100 Ways Nonprofit. She's going to have a youth football camp over on August 5th. Again, I think it's 2 to 7 p.m. You can go online at 100 Ways Nonprofit at 100waysusa.org to sign up for that. It is a free camp that you can sign up for. Space is limited, and it will be here again in Las Vegas too. So shout out to both you guys for your camps. We can't wait to report more on those. And Steph, we are done. Damn it.
It's over.
It's over. How can people find you?
You can find me on all social media platforms, S_wash.
And you can find me, Melissa, at Seattle, the number 4_life, Seattle for life. And you can find us at Girlchatsports on all social media. Look for us on iTunes. Download the app, subscribe, leave a review. We love you. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out another great episode of Girl Chat Sports. And remember, we don't have balls, but we know how to cover them. Until next time, guys.